Hey guys, welcome. Today we'll be talking about tools and tool calling. So what are tools in Langchain? Generally, LLMs are excellent at generating text, understanding context and reasoning. But they do have limitations. The lack of real-time information because LLM's knowledge is limited to their training data. They don't have any ability to perform any kind of action. They cannot send emails, they cannot query database, they cannot run code, or they cannot interact with any kind of services. They also have limited computational abilities. That means we cannot use LLMs for precise calculations or complex logical operations. To give these kind of abilities to LLM, we have tools. So a tool is essentially a function or an API that a large language model can use to interact with the outside world or perform specific defined actions. So basically, with the help of tool, LLM can perform actions. And what is tool calling then? So tool calling is the mechanism by which an LLM decides that it needs to use a tool, it determines which tool to use, it specifies the argument for that tool. So basically the pipeline looks like this. First we'll bind the tool to our LLM. Then after receiving the user query, it decides whether it should call a tool or not. If a tool call detected, the tool is getting executed and the result of this tool call along with the user query is given to the LLM. And then LLM generates the final answer. And this is the pipeline, and this entire thing is called tool calling. Now typically a tool has a name, a description and an arguments. So name is name of the tool, description is description of what it does, and arguments are the parameters that the tool expects. So if we take DuckDuckSearch as an example, we have this name equal to DuckDuckGo underscore search, description a wrapper around DuckDuckGo search useful for when you need to answer questions about current events. Input should be a search query, and required for arguments we have query, the descriptions like search query to look up. Now let's see DuckDuckGo in action. So here this is our LLM and this is our DuckDuckSearch run tool that we'll be using. So when we do search tool.name, we'll having the name of this tool. This is for getting the description and this is for getting the arguments. Now here we are binding this tool to our LLM, you can see. Then in this function we are first getting the user query and then we are appending that as a human message to our messages. Then we are invoking the LLM here, you can see. Here LLM decides whether to call a tool or not. So if a tool call is detected, you can see we are getting that tool call from the LLM response. Then we are invoking the tool accordingly. Then we are appending the tool result back to the messages, and then finally we are sending the entire messages here. So here this is our final LLM call and we'll be getting our final result. Now let's run this code. So here the question is, what is the latest news on India? You can see we have name, description and arguments. Then this is our user query, and then here you can see we are finally tool call is detected, then it is doing the tool execution, and finally this is the entire thing that this is the final message. This message we are sending to LLM, and after that we are having the latest information. So this is how we define our tool and we perform tool calling. Now if you want to learn about other tools, you can go to this link. So here we have a number of tools, you can see, within different categories. So if you want to use any tool, you can use from here. Now let's understand how to build a custom tool. So we'll be using tool decorator, structure tool plus bidenting and base tool. So let's understand how to use tool decorator to build a custom tool. So this is the function. Here we are adding two numbers. So here first we'll be using tool decorator, then here we are using type hints, that is we are ensuring, we are mentioning like what is the type of inputs and output. Then you can see this will become the tool name, and then we are using the duck string to add the description. Remember, we have the description from our tool. By using duck string we can add description to our tool, and then we have this return function. So when we do tool.name, it will say the name of the tool will be our number, and for description it will give this answer. Now this is the function we wrote in Python, right? But what does LLM see when we give this function to it? So when we give this function to LLM sees something like this. So description are two floating point number, the description we have here, then properties here, then required A and B, and title add number. So this will be the name of the tool. Now let's see this in action. So here we have defined our tool using tool decorator, and we are extracting different information from our tool. Here we are binding the tool to our LLM, then we are calling the tool here. So here we are doing the same thing again. We are getting the user input, then we are saving that as human message to our in our messages. Then here we are invoking the LLM. Here LLM decides whether to call or not call the tool, and then if the tool call is detected, here we are executing the tool. Here we are getting the tool call from our LLM response, and then here we are executing the tool and adding the result to our messages, and finally we are getting the result from here. Now let's run this thing. So when we run this code, you can see the name is our numbers, description, this is the description we have given in our tool, you can see, and then arguments, we have these arguments in our tool, and then this is what the LLM sees. So then here you can see this is the user query, this is the response from the LLM, and here if you see we have tool calls detected, name is our numbers, these are the arguments, then we have an unique ID for this tool, and then here the tool is getting executed, and then finally we have our answer. So in this way we are able to create a custom tool using a tool decorator. Now let's see how to create a custom tool using structured tool and bidenting. So here first we define the schema using bidenting schema and the type of the input variables. Here you can see we have both the variables as float, and then here this is the function we define. This is the function that will take two variables and that will add them and give the final output. And then using structural tool we combine everything together, you can see. So we are giving the name here, this is the description, and this is the schema. Now let's see. So here we have structured tool, this is our LLM, this is the schema using bidenting, and this is the function that we are going to use, and here we are combining everything to create our custom tool. And if we run this, so same thing here, everything is getting executed and we are getting our final answer, you can see here. Now let's understand how to create the tool using base tool and bidenting. Similarly, we are defining the schema using bidenting here, then we are using the base tool, and then we are creating this class. So here we are using this bidenting schema, you can see, and then we have the function here. Now when we run this, when we use this tool, we'll be able to do the addition. So here you can see we have pydantic schema and LLM here. Then this is our base tool. Using base tool, we have created the tool, and we are creating the instance of this class, you can see, and then we are using that class. We are binding to our LLM, and then the rest of the pipeline is same. So Python 4, you can see. So after going through the pipeline, we're finally getting the answer. So guys, I hope you understood tool and tool calling in Langchain. Please do comment if you have any doubts, or if I missed something. I'll try my best to clear all those things. Also, please do like, subscribe and share. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.